I want to talk about endogeneity and one new method, which is the method of instrumental variables or two-stage least squares. So after our nice interlude of machine learning, where we didn't have to think about causality anymore, or even about coefficients, because we were all about prediction, I want to bring us back to our efforts to establish causality, which sometimes is really what we are interested in. So suppose that we start from a model like the one we had finished with at the end of last lecture, where we have some x1 variable that we actually observe. We are interested in the causal effect of x1. And then we have some x2 variables that we may or may not observe. And we discussed a bunch of stuff that we could do in order to make sure that the coefficient of beta 1 is in fact indicating a causal relationship going from x1 to y. But there are occasions where the regression-based methods that we saw, just controlling for as many x2 as we can, or a difference in different strategies, which is another form of regression control if you want, or even regression discontinuity design, is just not going to cut it. Because we don't have the control variables, for example, because there is no regression discontinuity that we can use, or because a plausible case can be made that the variable x2 actually could affect y. The variable x1, sorry. x2 also, by the way, but here we are interested in causal effect of x1. The variable x1 might affect y as well, in which case it is really not an easy control approach to that problem, because if the variable x1 affects y and y affects the variable x1, like there's no way we cannot easily control for that. So Sarah gave me a very nice example of this, which is this kind of breaking news of a few years ago: unhappy people watch more TV study. An extensive new research study has found that unhappy people watch more TV, while those who consider themselves happy spend more time reading and socializing. Now the question is that from this title, do you think they are trying to claim that it is TV that makes you unhappy, or that is unhappiness that makes you watch TV?
The latter.
The latter? Who is voting for the former? No one. So interestingly, they are actually thinking about the former and the latter. This is a spectacular study that actually, in the same study, which is based on correlation, makes both causal claims. TV does cause people to be less happy. In other words, the causal order is reversed for people who watch television, and happiness leads to television viewing. So I think one could actually make a reasonable case going both ways. So it is not necessarily a stupid thing to think about. The problem is that intuitively you feel both could not very easily be established from the same causal regression, because if I can write the model both ways, clearly the coefficient is going to be biased if I first attribute the entire causal effect on x, and then I reverse the regression, I attribute the entire causal effect on y. I seems to be giving myself double credit. So that's the main problem from endogeneity, is any situation where here they're making the argument, actually, a sort of a theory argument, why TV causes people to be less happy, which is the idea that it's too easy and it's passive and you don't kind of, other activities have more benefits. And then the other, so that's why TV might make you unhappy. And in other words, the causal effect is reversed. Unhappiness leads to television viewing. If you're unhappy and not very energetic, you're going to watch TV. So both channels are plausible a priori. So this is when we have an endogeneity problems.